I do want to say thank you for your payment. The withdrawal from your bank account will generally occur within 2 business days of that scheduled payment date. Copy of the confirmation letter will be available on our website, mymidlandmortgage.com. Do you have that confirmation number if you like it? It does get emailed and mailed. Would you like that confirmation number now?
No, thank you. And then what did you say the total was? 1,500.
$1,534.18.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. We appreciate you. Our goal here is to partner with you. Now, on your assistance, customer service number is 800-654-4566.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. We appreciate you, and our goal here is to partner with you. Do you have any other questions?
No, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, you heard the lady. It cost me 1,600 bones to live here. But every time they pull that money out of the bank, I honestly just feel golden every day. Even if I have red skin, that's not what I mean. I mean, some of us, at the end of the day, we just have priorities, and my priorities have always been making sure I have a house to call my own. And even though I swore I was going to decorate it way better than this, I got it. And for some of you, the things that you have going on in your life are working out for you as well. And it does say trust in your new path. Some of you guys are honestly feeling a lot more balanced than you've ever been before. You have peace of mind. You have time alone to actually think about things and be able to like differentiate the events and the people and the way that it makes you feel so much better, so much more clearer now that you're not surrounded by people, honestly, that always make you feel bad, make you feel pushed to the limit, make you feel unsure of what to do. You finally have spaced yourself away from a lot of different people that didn't believe in you, that put you down, that had a lot of opinions about you, that still have a lot of opinions about you. And you're doing your own thing now. So at this point, honestly, that's what we're going to look at. So basically, guys, we've all told the story about what it was like for us to be living where we used to, or be in the relationships that we used to. We've expressed how terrible we felt like it was. We've done a lot of things. Some of us have even practiced accountability. But one thing that we haven't done, and this is a whole, I haven't done it clearly either because it's coming out on my table, is release the power that these things have had over us. It has the taking your power back card in the reverse, and it's something that you don't have your power back over. Even if you walked away, even if you separated yourself, you think about it all the time, which keeps that connection very strong for you. And anytime we allow anything to consume our minds and our thoughts, it begins to grow and grow and grow. And slowly but surely, that's what these things have been doing inside of you, even away from the people that you feel angry at. Some of you guys lost a home. You lost all your money. You lost your loved ones. You lost everything. And you haven't been able to honestly, like, overcome it. You think about it all of the time, and you think that other people did what they did to you. And I've been there before myself. Don't think that I haven't. I used to hate my mom's guts for having my kids. And there's a story behind that I don't tell people often. And that story is that Two of Cups in the reverse. The relationship that you were in wasn't true love. You had to walk away from abuse, and you even stopped at times fighting with these people because there's only 5 swords here. You felt like for you, this could have been the most meaningful or powerful relationship that you've ever had in your life. Whoever you lost, it meant the most to you out of everybody. And even regardless, I see that some of you guys still put your swords down and walked away, which, in my opinion, shows shame or guilt, denial. Because why would you put your sword down and walk away feeling abused if we didn't really have anything to do with the problem? Sometimes we say that we surrendered or left or threw the towel in, but that a lot of times can be our ego doing whatever it needs to do to make ourselves feel better about whatever it is that we could have possibly did. And I'm starting to learn this a lot about myself. And it started to happen for me when I was watching some camcordings over the holidays. No, get. You nasty ass fucking shit. No, go over there. You go do something else. I love you. I'll be right with you, okay? But you're not gonna come drink out of the toilet and put your mouth on my leg. It's not gonna happen. Don't fucking look at me like that. What? I'm not gonna have toilet leg. No. I'm starting to learn this about myself as well. That by watching the camcordings in the old days and stuff, I can see that everybody in my family is pretty happy. And I'm glaring, and I'm mean, and I'm hateful. I have memories of being hateful. I have memories of hateful things. And I don't really have memories of positive things. The only memory that I remember going ever to the lake or doing something with my mom was this one time. Finally, after she left my dad, she got this new boyfriend named Rick, and it was really the first time it was the only time I really remember my mom going out of the farm. She didn't really like to go off the farm. But for Christy and Rick that day, she did decide to go to the lake. And I was just excited. I don't really remember thinking, well, I actually do. I'm pretty sure I thought to myself, yeah, she'll go with them and not us. But she did, and we were very excited and grateful to go. But other than that, I don't actually remember any other good memories. And it sucks, but I don't. I do remember one Christmas being real snooty, though. I had opened up all my presents first. And because I didn't open up the last presents, they were for other people. I remember getting very upset about that. I didn't show my mom any gratitude towards anything that she bought me. I was just angry that I felt like other people had gotten more than me. It was very selfish and rude. Treated my mom pretty poorly, and I bet you a lot of it has to do with me just blaming my mom that my dad and her broke up. And the reason why I decided to blame anybody for that was just because one person in the family kept talking bad about the other person in the family. I don't remember much after that. I just remember hot summer days and the farm and the open skies and the heat. I remember always being fearful of getting caught sitting. We needed to be up and moving, up and moving. There was always work to be done. I felt like I had to be sneaky. I felt like I was very restricted and I couldn't do a lot of things. And because of all these things that I felt like, I did things that, for one, I knew I shouldn't do, and that nobody in my family would be okay with me doing. And before you knew it, go. I was isolating and doing my own thing and had really nothing to do with the family anymore. Go get your rocks and get moved away, started my own life, but all the while I struggle myself with relationships, not just with family, but with lovers. Work celebrations, though, golden. Putting my sword up, golden. Making my money, golden. Cutting out people and options, easy peasy. Can I stop thinking about it? Not so much. It's probably what you guys are going through too. We have the 5 of wands here. It's 5 5 5s. Every time you're dealing with a 5, it's like you cut them out, they reappear on your mind, you're right back to where you started. Look at that's literally back and forth energy. You got the 2 of swords down and up, just one after the next. And it's the 5. Anytime you got a 5 here, it's like you feel like half empty, like you're like whoever it was in the relationship didn't try. That's how you feel. And I feel like more than likely you guys, our perception is off somewhere along the way. I do feel like we were hurt about something in particular when we were very little. And I feel like it could have been honestly as early as our parents separating or the first fight that we remember them having. It could be for some of you that one parent was talking shit about the other parent and you just grew this overwhelming amount of hate for the other parent. That some of you guys believed the parent talking shit, and some of you guys just listened to the way the person talking shit sounded, and you thought, you sound disgusting, and I can't believe that you would be talking to me about these things. So, whichever, role was for you, you literally spent more than likely your whole childhood just stewing about whatever it was that made you upset. And as you thought about it more and more, you became more frustrated, more angry, more involved in your thoughts and yourself, in the way that you see it went. And because you're isolating and pushing everybody away from you, now there's nobody else to argue that point of view. And it lots of memories. We have a very clear memory of things, and then over time you'll start to be like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. It's crazy. I can't even remember the name of that artist. I can't believe I forgot. You'd be like driving somewhere, and you've always known the address, but out of nowhere that one damn day, it's just like, for some reason, it just isn't coming to surface. Memories do fade away. And traumatic memories pretty much can be overrode. And the brain and the body will do that for your own protection. Like the brain knows when things are going to hurt you or scare you or startle you, make you feel icky. And it will kick into its natural defenses and protect you. It will help you to override whatever you feel pain with. And its very first instinct is to make you feel better. The brain and the body don't like troubling experiences, and it probably taught you how to go into survivor mode. You're somebody who's very strong. You might stay close to animals more than people. You like nature. You keep to yourself. But this vision that you've created about the world and the people around you is a lot. It's more than it should be, with respect to our grand imagination. But that is exactly what the brain does. Another thing that the brain does, you guys, when we go through trauma is it does something called disassociation. Now, when you go through an event that is very traumatizing to you, and you are somebody that unfortunately has to go through it more than once, such as sexual abuse, or even pretty much sexual abuse is what I'm getting at here, but your mind will do something called disassociation. And when abuse occurs to the person, they pretty much drift off to another place and pretend like they're not where they are physically. And they imagine themselves somewhere else. And mentally, they float away. And they don't return to their body until it's over. These are things that young children learn to do to protect themselves. And that's how come when you become an adult or later on in your older years in general, you can't remember the story. You just remember how it felt. You're like, I don't know, I just feel like something happened. You more than likely practiced disassociation when it occurred. So that's why you are getting these feelings that something bad happened and you can't seem to remember it. And whoever more than likely did it to you, it was very close to you, and it was so difficult for you to even accept that person would do that, that you blocked it off, because not believing that it happened or by this person is it was too much. It's still a lot to even think about. It's still a lot even as adults, with all the experience that we have in today, years later, it's still a lot to even think about coming to surface. And more than likely, just to put this out there in the open, it was family. It could have been one of your parents. It could have been one of your siblings. It could have been your uncle. It could have been somebody very close to you, your grandpa. And it could have been your grandma. There's females that do it all the time too. And I do feel like, honestly, this year or next year, we will be figuring out exactly what it is that we don't know. And as scary as it seems like it will be, I think it's going to be very healing and very positive, because if you're wondering why your relationships aren't successful, it's really not because of anything you're doing wrong now. We really haven't dealt with anything from the past. It's a lot to deal with, and it's very painful information, but this information within us that remains unsolved or unsurfaced is stirring around all the time like a dust cloud, and it's just giving you allergies constantly every single day of your life. You're just like uncomfortable, and you're not happy, and things are not working out for you. Well, it's because we got all this stuff on the inside. We need to sanitize, and we need to clear our space, and we need to honestly take a really good look at what we're working with here. Our body is a home or a vehicle. We run it. I like to think of it as a car personally, but we run our bodies to the maximum 24/7. We're just thinking, we're walking, we're moving, we're working, we're cleaning, we're partying, whatever it is that we do. It's like very few people have the ability to actually calm down at the end of the day and really just designate some time for themselves, wind down time. Very few people can turn their phone off and follow a strict schedule. So few, actually, that when they do, it's very noticeable. When you hear somebody talking about a strict schedule and doing the right thing and being responsible, it's admirable. When we drive by those houses with those nice yards, and get your ass away from me with your, don't you be doing no weird choky freaking throw up sounds. Why? That's when you're choking yourself out, because you have to be that close to me. Go get your toy. Or I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that toy. You guys gotta make sure that you're taking care of yourself just like I do, and I really don't. As much as I need to. I buy fruits and vegetables, but I also don't not eat the other kinds of foods and stuff like that. And we just got to understand that what we put into our body is going to help us process and understand everything that happens all the time better. When we eat sugars and just, I don't know the technical terms for this crap because I'm not a calorie counter by any means. I want to say gluten and carbs because that's what you guys say, but I don't really know exactly facts on that stuff. So, but what I do know is that when you don't eat things with vitamins or things that are healthy for your body, you're putting toxins into your body, and it has no actual fuel to regenerate the brain. It doesn't have the nutrients that it needs to keep your organs, your hair, skin, and nails, any of that healthy. A lot of us are so worried about achieving the goals that we have on this 3D that we forget how many years we're really taken off of our lifespan. If you think to yourself how many times you've rearranged the house or changed an outfit just to get back to the way that it was the first time, that was time wasted. Anytime you stuck it out and stayed at a job or in a relationship that wasn't suiting you, time wasted. Every time you doubted your intuition and attempted to believe in something longer than you should have, time wasted. And if we could just make sure that our health is up to par, then we would know that the least we could do is make the best decision for us. And it may not always work out the way that we hoped it would, but we know that there wasn't any other reason why we didn't make the best choice, such as were we partying? Were we not eating healthy? Were we doing something that is in the darkness rather than the lightness? Anytime we make those decisions, we're probably going to have a situation occur. Every time I've had anything negative in my life happen, I was under the use of something every fucking time. Every fucking time, dude. Except for Martin dying and committing suicide. That I was sober for. And it hurt me a lot. I thought 7 years clean and sober, and this is what the fuck I get again. It was hard for me. It made me really realize that everything on this 3D is temporary. You didn't have to just be doing bad to lose. Some of us will always lose and lose and lose because we are actually still on our way through and we're not meant to stay. It's not easy to think of yourself as somebody who may not be meant to stay. Maybe you're somebody that prefers to stick around large groups of people or in family settings. Maybe this calling is something that is against your normal ritual, your daily routine. Maybe setting off and going in this whole brand new crazy journey all by yourself is not anything that anyone in your family would ever recommend you do or ever does. You guys are buddy system people, you know what I mean? But wherever you are in the calling, you are chosen, in my opinion. Those who have been called the lone wolves or the black sheep or the misfit child, whatever you want to call it. It was so much more than that. You're so much more than that. You're the person that was born into a family dynamic that will change the family dynamic. And it won't be because you stuck around in the space to see it through. The only way to help these other people that are in this dynamic change is to somehow convince them to follow you. And it's not going to be by standing right there in front of them because they don't listen. And the only way you can change roles when you're dealing with somebody that you're chasing after, trying to get the attention of, is that you got to tag them, you're it, and take off running. It's the only way. A chaser has to be tagged it before it comes your way. Even if you're taunting it and saying, I'm over here, come get me, you can't get me, you stupid. They don't care. The only time a chaser cares is if they're it. and you're running. So you have to be on the run in order to get this person's attention. Because when you're dealing with people that don't respect you or listen to you, it's because you're an extension of their needs and wants. So if you're out of their arm's reach and they can't get to you, that's when they notice where you're at. Where the fuck did Tara go? Where the hell did you better get? Where the hell is Tara? You better call her right now. She's not off work yet. That's what you need to be, that kind of vibe. As long as you remain obedient and you remain nearby and you do what everybody else is wanting you to do, then they don't really have a reason to pay much attention to you. They more than likely know what you're talking about. They are not going to admit it because obviously there could be a great amount of significance or deal to your story. And who would want that kind of stuff, out in the open? So just think about, whatever it is that's bothering you and ask yourself, like, do you want it out in the open? Is telling the story out loud to everybody something that you feel like you need to do? Or is this something that you might be able to process on your own time with us here on the channel? Maybe you get a counselor. Like, you're free to do whatever you feel like. But I can tell you right now that I've thought about this whole thing thoroughly. And if you think it all the way through from start to finish and you see that, let's just pretend like consequences were served. If anybody that you know is an elder and you picture your, let's just say it would be your grandparents or something. Picture your grandparents in a jumpsuit going to prison now. I would say if you could, definitely try to express to them in the most mature and thoughtful way that you could what you feel is your final theory on the whole matter. If this person treats you in any way disrespectful, dismisses you, talks down to you, treats you bad, you can make your decision after that what you want to do. My biggest concern, honestly, at this point would be like, is what they did to you happening now? Has any other complaints been made? Have you heard anybody else tell a similar story that you've told about this person? If you have not, I want you to really think deep within and ask yourself, like, is this something that only happened to you, or is this something that evolved through angry memories that your brain told yourself enough times, this happened, because your brain wanted to make our brains make us feel like we're not guilty. They don't want to be the guilty one. They want to make us feel like it was somebody else's fault. The brain doesn't take guilt very well, and it sure doesn't take shame very well. It doesn't like its ego to be affected. So there are events where actually we do exactly what we say somebody else does to us, and we're the one who actually did it. And it could also be that somebody else completely outside of this person was guilty, but maybe this person and you had some kind of interaction during the time of, maybe shortly after, and your brain was still possibly even in shock, and you come out of shock and you see this person there, and you kick in and you decide this is what happened. Basically, I'm just saying, something different a little bit happened than what we think happened. And yes, you're on the right track as far as the feeling that something happened goes. But for now, let's not be freaking jumping to conclusions and saying all this crazy stuff, because we need to be sure that what we really feel like is happening is. Because at the end of the day, if we're calling all these shots and making all these statements to come to even for us to find out at the end, we were wrong, which we've done that before, we've been wrong before, it makes us doubt our own selves, right? So let's just make sure that we got all our facts in order and our maturity level is high. We don't want to walk into any type of confrontational situation weak or immature. This could have been a situation with your spouse or your ex-lover. I feel like there was a divorce that occurred or a separation that went on too. Some of you guys felt like this person took everything from you. Everything, every dollar, every memory, the house, everything, and it put you into a broken heart. It's asking you to come out of hermit mode and to enjoy life again. It's been a while since this happened, and you need to be patient. You need to be patient when you're looking for answers because the answers are within you. And so when you're freaking out, running all over the place looking for stuff that's already there, you're not ready to change it. You're frantic. You're very frantic right now. Some of you are very frantic and you're demanding answers. And you want answers. You're getting so frustrated. You just want this and that. And you know what? It's there. You already have it. You already have it. You're putting the puzzle together wrong. You have all the parts. You have all the pieces. You need to figure out which pieces go where and stop just shoving everything together and making it look like some kind of weird shape, because if it don't make sense, it don't make sense. You're not done yet. There is a way with your intelligence level that you can figure out this puzzle. But that's the challenge. It's more than likely something that we had to do with it. And, we don't really know exactly what that is. We don't know if something, negative happened or if something hurt us and we just decided that we were going to think some way about somebody and instilled that thought into our brain. Who knows exactly what it is. We'll figure out more and more about it because, we're just a work in progress. But do be open-minded and just know that if our theories haven't actually made sense yet, then something's not right with it. And it's okay. I'd rather admit that I did something wrong putting the pieces together than know that I'm going to get no different response from other people around me. I would rather know that there's still hope, that maybe I could fix this or that or that or that. Plus, I like working alone. It's way easier than working with other people. So try to find the pro in that con. The reason why they're not making sense or things are not coming together yet is because the universe is like, you still got some pieces you haven't found yet. You're a little bit off. You're a little bit off. And for those of you who are working towards being emperors and empresses, you won't be able to elevate into kings or queens or emperors or empresses if you still hold anger and resentment over people from the pages and the knights chapters. Those people are a lot less than kings and emperors, and they need guidance. They need to be taught. They need to be trained. They need to know what you know. So if you're angry at people down there on the 2 lower levels, are you going to be picking and choosing who you're willing to help? Probably. So you can't elevate. You need to focus in on actually understanding what really happened and forgiving also. Anger eats us up inside, Some of you are just really strong all the time. Maybe you need to cry. And for those of you who spend a lot of time crying, it's time to strengthen up. It's all about the opposites this year, so whatever we're used to doing, the final piece, I think, is doing the opposite of what we're used to doing. Those, that talk too much, now it's time to listen. Those that never talk at all, it's time to speak your voice. For those of you who have been single for far too long, it's time to go on a date. For those of you who date all the time, it's time to stay single. It's the opposite. It's the year of the opposite, so keep that in mind. And if a solution is not working for you, or if you're still struggling with a barrier, do the opposite. Try that as a solution, and let's see how that goes.